Good morning again, everyone. Welcome especially to all of our guests here for the New Year's retreat, all those watching online, and also we have some friends who are here from Italy and perhaps even other places. So I'd like to start off today with reading this excerpt from the Whispers from Eternity, which are prayer poems and demands by Paramhansa Yogananda. And this is one that I have never read before, and it's quite stunning, so I'd like to share it with you today. And this is entitled Shadows. Beds of flowers or veils of tears, dewdrops on buds of roses, or miserly people as dry as desert sands. The little running joys of childhood, or the stampede of wild passions, the ebb and flow of laughter, or the haunting melancholy of sorrow, the will-o'-the-wisp of desire, which leads men only from mirror to mirror, the octopus grip of self-complacency, time-beaten habits, the first cry of the newborn babe, and the last sigh of death, the bursting joy of good health, or the cruel ravages of disease. These all are but shadows, seen by us on the cosmic mental screen. Shadows, not but shadows. Yet shadows have, oh, so many shades. For there are dark shadows, and there are light shadows. And thus it is we see, even shadows may entertain. So to start off about this shadow, we just celebrated a very beautiful, wonderful Christmas as we celebrate the birth of Christ, the birth of Christ consciousness, the birth of this consciousness, this light within us. As there is light, there also is this shadow. And for us as disciples, for us as spiritual aspirants, it comes again and again back to our own center of what are we choosing to focus on. And a part of my service, I serve with Online with Ananda here at the Sangha office. And one theme that permeates all of our meetings, which I quickly caught on to and learned how to operate a meeting successfully. And when you have 10 people with different ideas and there's so much going on, what's that line that's going to pull everything together and then come to an outcome that perhaps is a little quicker than spending 2 hours together? As much as we all love each other, how do we expedite meetings, and how do we expedite also other aspects of our life? One of the things that there's at least someone in a meeting that will always drop in the bucket the organizational approach of where, what, when, and how. And I always appreciate it because that's needed. And then it just pulls everything together and tic-tac-toe, there we are, we found our focus and we can now move forward with our energy. And so I was thinking of this for ourselves, is coming back again to this celebration of this consciousness that is awakening within us, this light, but also being aware that there is this shadow. And yes, as our guru said, this shadow likes to entertain us. It likes to be entertained. And so that I have found working with this same variable that seems to help in meetings can also help us in our spiritual life. We can apply this to the mind. We can apply this to the heart. Where, what, when, and how. Where is my mind right now? Hopefully it's at Sunday service. I have to do this talk. It'd be very helpful if it's here. Where is our mind? What is our mind thinking about right now in this moment? When do we choose to focus the mind on something or anything? and not allowing it to just be free floating. And how? How are we keeping that focused mind? This is so simple. If we work with this very practical application to not get lost in the grand entertainment of the shadow. Because the shadow, there's different shadows, as our Guru was talking about in this Whispers reading. And some of them, as he said, are light shadows. And so it's very hard sometimes if we're not vigilant on trying to keep our hearts and minds focused on the inner light, on that consciousness that is being born within us. We can very easily get lost and distracted. And so as an anchor on our journey toward this realization of this consciousness, this realization of who this I is, that it is not this personality, it's not all of my limited self-definitions, but that I is that cosmic consciousness. And so on this pilgrimage, just the same as the three wise men with the awakening of the star, the Christ consciousness within them, and following that, I'm assuming they had some gear on their journey. And so for us, this is a very helpful thing to remember, to keep coming back, to working on renewing our efforts through creativity, through devotion, and through that yearning of our souls to want to know God, to want to commune with this consciousness. And we have to also be practical in our idealism, because we can get lost in devotion is important, but we also don't want to get lost in the airy-fairy metaphysical realm of all is Brahma. Well, that's great if you have Brahma. But if you don't have Brahma yet, then we need to be working with these practical tools to keep ourselves aligned to that light. Just recently, we here at Ananda Village, in places all around the world, one way we celebrate Christmas, which is a tradition that Paramhansa Yogananda started, is an 8-hour Christmas meditation. And it's so beautiful to spend that time diving deep within. And traditionally, Paramhansa Yogananda would play this classic, the Blue Danube. And what he said is that, which Swamiji reminded us, is that he would ask everyone to stand, and we would listen to the Blue Danube. We'd then turn and face the masters, and he invited us to sway back and forth and feel that we're dancing in the astral world with the masters. And I'm assuming all of us have experienced that. It's quite beautiful and quite wonderful. But this year, my mind was just a little mischievous. And as we were swaying back and forth, I kind of just looked around the room. And for me, it was quite also, and I don't mean to make light of this very cosmic part of the 8-hour meditation, but it was quite hilarious and funny and childlike. There we all are, swaying back and forth. And I thought, how beautiful and how childlike. So then my mind went to wondering, was there a hidden agenda here by Paramhansa Yogananda, why he introduced this to the 8-hour meditation? And so I started to think, well, perhaps he knew we as Westerners, it's hard to sit for 8 hours without moving the body. We're used to standing and moving a little bit more. So I wonder if it was his compassion to say, let's stand and let's listen to this beautiful song and sway back and forth, loosen up the body. Again, this is my own perception of my conversation with Master during the 8-hour. And even if it was that alone, how sweet and how compassionate that we get to move the body to this wonderful hymn. And so then my mind went to think, well, if that's not the case of why he introduced this to us, maybe he, also thinks it's quite just fun and childlike of why he was doing this. And I was praying to Master, I really want to know, why did you introduce this in the 8-hour meditation? And so after swaying back and forth for a while, I then had an experience which was quite beautiful. I started to notice, for the first time, my first 8-hour meditation that I did, perhaps I think it was in 2005, 2006, and all the years until then, I had this experience of feeling, wow, the Blue Danube has so many moods to it, isn't it so? There are these moments where there's a beautiful waltz happening, where it's so, in many ways, romantic. You're dancing with the divine, and it's so soothing. And then there's these periods of adventure and excitement, and it starts to get really energized. And I often feel sometimes I have to put the seatbelt on because, whoa, this is really moving at quite the pace here. And then we come back down to almost a hint of sadness, a hint of dissolving. And then you hear the sweet, as if birds are chirping, the sweetness. And there's all this movement happening. But at the same time, I noticed that there was also this thread, that there is something that wasn't changing throughout the whole experience. And what was that? It was that center of stillness, that center of calmness within. For each one of us, as we begin to just observe and enjoy the flow of this waltz, but we remain calm, we remain steadfast and still within. And then after that period, we sit back down and we continue meditating. And so is our life. This cosmic motion picture show, the great drama that is unfolding in each one of our lives, as it is at times entertaining, adventurous, perhaps hints of sadness, but always within us is that center point, which is where that light dwells, that consciousness that is cosmic. And Paramhansa Yogananda said that through our meditation and through our ever-increasing attunement with this cosmic intelligence, this cosmic consciousness, we link our individuality to that consciousness. And the more that we work on linking that, our consciousness with that consciousness, we begin to become absorbed in the experience. And when we are absorbed in that great consciousness, then yes, we are free. And that we can see the great drama unfolding, which is, as the masters say, it is wonderful, it is love, it is light, it is joy. I wanted to also share that I was reflecting on today's topic as we're now coming from Christmas heading into New Year's. The Christ was born, and how beautiful it was, and how we celebrated that birth of Christ. But now what? What do we do now? Where do we go from here? And one of the things that came into my mind is, what do we do? The Christ has been born. What now? What's next? Discipleship. And so the great Christ came into this world and had taken human form. And there are two things I wanted to highlight, which are beautiful examples of the essence and the beauty of discipleship that unfolded. The first being Mary and Joseph. There, this child, who was pure love, pure light, pure consciousness that was born. There, that babe laid in the arms of Divine Mother, that was cared for, protected by the Father. And just the same for us, our discipleship to that consciousness, our discipleship to the Guru, requires just the same, that consciousness be nurtured, that consciousness be cared for. And as this consciousness is awakening within us, we must be mindful to not relax this discipline And that really is the spirit of discipleship. It's that inner discipline to nurture that ever-growing consciousness of Christ, of God, of Divine Mother. And that looks different according to the situations that we're in. But that discipline, that nurturing of that consciousness comes through our daily meditation. It comes to seeing our service as that offering to nurture and to grow that consciousness, to try to give that consciousness through loving. And that's that sense of I that we're trying to expand into the great ocean of joy, of bliss, is that when we choose love, then that divine love can flow through us. When we choose to live in joy, that divine joy can manifest in our life. When we choose to offer ourselves unconditionally in service, then that power of God can flow through us. And slowly, hopefully not slowly, hopefully quickly, that sense of I begins to dissolve. And we start to see the essence of who we truly are. And discipleship is that catalyst, it's that process that we all follow to remain in the vibration, in that flow of grace, to take us to that which will satisfy all our desires. And so through that nurturing daily, we begin to see that consciousness grow. But the other part of this is, of course, reflected in the lives of the three wise men. As Paramhansa Yogananda said, was Babaji, Lahiri Mahashai, and Shri Yukteswar. That the awakening of that consciousness, that they began their journey and they remained steadfast and dedicated. We don't know, or at least I don't know what their journey looked like. You know, I'm sure it wasn't easy, especially back in the day. They didn't just give their ticket, Lahiri Mahashai, okay, you know, seat 12, you know, and there they are landing in the local town of Bethlehem. They had a long journey. I'm sure there were great challenges, but that steadfastness is what is needed for each one of us to see that our life is but this inner pilgrimage to visit, to dwell, to commune with this consciousness. And yes, we're going to be tested. We're going to, there will be obstacles that will come in our way. But the disciple remains at that place in their hearts, which is filled with joy in that anticipation of that one day of being free. I wanted to share with you all a dream that I had just recently. We at Chandi, we have a lot of fun, and we had a great Christmas together. And as we were preparing for Christmas, we had a big evening of decorating. And it's quite remarkable what was done. You can imagine 12 people just going full bore, devotionally decorating Chandi with decorations. And we played Christmas music, and it was such a delight. And it was a long evening, and a lot of good things happened. Everything looked so beautiful and so joyful in preparation for Christmas. And so I went to bed that night. I think there was a buzz in the air of, anticipation and joy, and also rejoicing in the satsang and knowing that we're trying to do all of this for Guruji, because it's Guruji's ashram. And so that night I had an interesting dream. Many devotees, we were together at Mount Washington, and we were made aware that our guru, Paramhansa Yogananda, was coming to give us a talk. And we were all shocked and excited. He's coming in person, flesh and blood. And so we just put out so much energy, and we decorated in ways that I was just blown away. Wow. And we were so joyful. We're doing this for Master. But of course, there was a lot of energy moving, and let's do this and let's do that. And we were running around and pasting stars here and lights there and throwing garlands everywhere. And finally, we were happy with what we did, and we felt Guruji is going to be happy with this. And then we received word where we had to go to actually have this satsang with him in this room. So we quickly made haste, and we went into this room. And in this room was this big, giant TV. And I think all of our excitement just, and my first thought was, is he going to do a webinar for us? We were told he was going to be here in flesh and blood. But of course, I was so happy. We were all happy that, hey, if he's even just going to do a broadcast with us, how special. So we quickly regained our energy and excitement. And so we were kind of waiting for the TV to turn on with Guruji. And then finally, we received word. We heard a car pulling up, and we knew it was Guruji, and we were so excited. And so we all rushed outside to greet the car that was coming up. And there was Guruji in the passenger seat, and he was laying down with the chair reclined with his eyes closed, which I thought was odd, because here we all are. It's been many years since you left the body, sir. We're excited to see you. And so that excitement of, everyone was crying, and it was such a beautiful moment of feeling Guruji's love. But again, I thought, this is odd. He was lying down with his eyes closed. The car pulled up, and the car stayed there for a couple of minutes while we pranammed, and then he took off. So, okay, what was that? And so people were saying, did you notice his eyes were closed? Was he dead? And I said, no, I knew he wasn't dead, but I was wondering, Guruji, why was your eyes closed? And so I was asking him this question. And then one of my good friends next to me said, but didn't you notice? One of his eyes was cracked open. He was peeking through that one eye. And I said, yes, I did see that. And so again, I asked Guruji, I said, why? Why did you do this? We had all this stuff beautifully decorated for you. We baked for you, we cooked for you. We had mangoes for you. Why? And there, that little peek, little squint of the eye that was open, what came strong through him was, when thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. And that was what he came and he shared with me. And I knew that when I woke up from the dream, that Guruji also wants us to remember to not get lost in the outward celebrations, in the outward projects, in our outward service. Everything in our life should and can become a catalyst of that remembrance, of that everything is in here. And it's not to say Guruji wouldn't enjoy the Christmas decorations, and he doesn't enjoy when you do well with your projects. But again and again, that reminder to go inside. God watches the heart, and that everything we do, to feel that we're doing it in an act of devotional self-offering, as we tune into that inner stillness, that inner calmness, and feel that awakening joy, and feel that living presence of the Guru, the living presence of the Masters. And as we do this consciousness, which is within us already, that I is already wrapped with this cosmic consciousness, all that we have left is just that daily remembrance, that daily self-offering, and to always remain in the center of our inner calmness. And for us as devotees, I wanted to close with sharing that just as this last act of discipleship, that we know what unfolded in the life of Christ as he grew older, he started his mission. And as he came to each of the disciples, what are the first thing that he would say to them? Follow me. And they followed him. In all that unfolded in his life, they were a part of that. And then once Christ left the body, what was left? This mission continued. And Christ recommended to his disciples to share love, to share joy, to serve others, and all the ways that we are taught by our Guru, how to live our life as an example of this divine manifestation, that it is here, that it is living. The life of Christ is just the same, vibrant and living today as it was back in the earlier days. And so for what of us on this path of self-realization? I wanted to leave you with this message from the autobiography of a yogi, from Lahiri Mahashai. For us, we have the path of Kriya. We have this path of meditation, this path of service. And what can we give? What can we bestow upon our friends, our Guru Bhais, and then those who are going to be seeking this light, and even those who are not seeking the light directly? How can we become these manifestations of our Guru's love, his light, his joy? So I wanted to leave you with this quote from the autobiography of a yogi. A number of Lahiri Mahashai's disciples with influential worldly position were desirous of expanding the Kriya circle to publicity. The Guru refused his permission. One Chela, the royal physician to the Lord of Benares, started an organized effort to spread the Master's name as Kashi Baba, exalted one of Benares. Again, the Guru forbade it. Let the fragrance of the Kriya flower be wafted naturally without any display. He said, its seeds will take root in the soil of spiritually fertile hearts. Although the great Master did not adopt the system of preaching through the modern medium of an organization or through the printing press, he knew that the power of his message would rise like a resistless flood, inundating by its own force the banks of human minds. The changed and purified lives of devotees were the simple guarantees of the deathless vitality of Kriya. God bless you all.
When the dawn breaks and in the morning sends the sun high in the sky, who would hide from heaven's glory? Who would pass the challenge by? La 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 la.
There's a morning for every nation when the sun's high in the sky. There's a time for every people to affirm their destiny. La 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 la. Even so, all of us together can create a better land. Leave the past, a new tomorrow waits for all who understand. There's a morning for every nation when the sun's high in the sky. There's a time for every people to affirm their destiny. La 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 la. Even so, all of us together can create a better land. Leave the past, a new tomorrow waits for all who understand. La 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 la. Leave the past, a new tomorrow